Hey everybody, I'm Trevor Mignani, Managing Editor from GenGAME.net, and we just saw the PlayStation 2013 meeting, and we've got some analysis today. Joining me live, we have Ben and Dean. What's going on, guys?
Hey, how's it going, Trevor?
Doing good. So obviously, we're as a virtual organization, we were not physically in the same room, so we're all kind of watching on the stream together. Dean, of course, over in England right now.
Yep.
So we'll get some general opinions. Do we think Sony did good at this presentation? We'll throw that to Dean first.
In terms of presentation, I believe it's done well. Couldn't have gone any better, I guess. Wasn't a lot that excited me personally.
Now, would you consider yourself a Sony person or Nintendo, Microsoft, or straight PC gamer? What's your forte?
Preferably, it's always going to be Nintendo, but I've always been a Sony fan as well. You know, that's sort of like secondary. But
All right, Ben, what did you think of the presentation?
I thought overall it was pretty good. I've not been a big fan of some of the decisions Sony's made, but I feel like this presentation showed a lot of good things for them going forward. I think they introduced some good new ideas and maybe took some ideas that are already in place and just kind of made them better and refined them. There's a lot of questions I still have, but I know they're going to save a lot of that for E3. I didn't really expect them to give all the details today.
I felt like they were really trying to channel that Nintendo Direct energy that Nintendo's been so good at, and I think they drove the hype machine over and beyond expectations. It was almost over 3 million live viewers, which is incredible. But then again, it shows the kind of pull Sony has with a global audience. And that was just on Ustream. I mean, you add in the Twitch users, another 100,000. And then they just made some significant announcements. Even if you don't look at the actual games they announced, the actual hardware, this was a presentation dedicated to just the hardware. And the games shown were just the tip of the iceberg. So
yeah, I agree with that. I think in showing off the games, I would have liked to have seen a few more PlayStation 4 exclusives. I mean, we saw a lot of games that are, maybe they'll have the better version on PlayStation 4, or there'll be more ways that they can integrate it with, like the crossplay with Vita, things like that. But I felt like they didn't really have that killer title, other than maybe Killzone, that kind of says, "Hey, get excited for this."
Yeah, you look at Capcom's Deep Down, which looked pretty freaking cool. I mean, awful name, cool game, but a lot of this stuff doesn't look like it's going to be exclusive. But
Right.
They've got a lot of third parties, and I think the important thing is not exclusives, but parity with the competition. I think that's going to be very important.
Well, yeah, especially just with the remote play thing that they were showing off with the Vita, how it can stream games, and how their eventual goal is to make it so you can play any PS4 game on the Vita. I mean, that's clearly going to put a big threat towards Nintendo and what they can do with the Wii U. It's not the exact same concept, but clearly they're going for a similar kind of market with that.
Right. So, Dean, what moment stuck out the most in this presentation?
for me, I guess it's from like sort of an artist's point of view, but it was the Move Sculpt. Can't remember the name of it now.
The Media Molecule demo.
Yeah, they were when they were creating the.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Sculptures and stuff. Yeah, it's really sort of unique.
Ben, what did you think was your top moment from the presentation?
I don't know. I guess, like I said, I really like what they were going for with the Vita. Trying to stream things to that, and how they're going to start integrating phones and things like that into it too. I feel like they showed a lot of ways where they're saying we can do everything the competition can do, and we can do better. So I think that was a really good point for them, is to show that the PS4 can do everything. That was kind of their big push with the PS3. It only does everything, but I feel like that'll be more true on the PS4.
Yeah, I think they're kind of playing catch up. I mean, Microsoft's got Smart Glass. Oh, I'm not signed into it. so can't show that. But trying to integrate with more services and make PlayStation a more integral part of your day-to-day life, I think, is a very important thing, and something that that Nintendo's trying to do. It's massive. I mean, if you're able to chat with your friends, arrange a game, all from your phones that you have in your hand, and then get home, hop on your PS4, and you're already ready to go, it's great.
Well, I think that spectator feature could really come into play too. I mean, people love doing walkthroughs and things like that, you know, like video documentation, and having a share button where you can record what you're doing and also having an option to watch your friends play live. I think like the combination of those two functions is going to be big, and it'll really help with the advertising aspect of it too, because you can see and even play games without ever having to buy them or rent them or anything, as long as your friends have them.
Yeah. What do we think of the Ustream streaming feature? Do we think it's a little over the top? Do we think it's necessary? Do we think it's going to have any effect on the traditional streamers like us that use capture cards? Is this going to really dynamically change the way things are done?
I'd have to see a little bit more before I, can determine if this is really like a game changer.
I think, if anything, the partnership with Ustream is pretty big. They are the #1 live streaming network online. Second would be the Justin TV and Twitch TV network, which is where we are live now. But anybody watching on Twitch got a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth when they heard that this is happening, but it was going to Ustream. But I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, we're already seeing that happen today with Call of Duty, for example. That's got a live stream integration with YouTube and Twitch. But this moving forward is going to be pretty cool. What did we think of the first title they showed off, Knack?
Well, actually, my feed was being kind of laggy when that was showed, so I was kind of cutting in and out. It looked really, really interesting, but it's kind of hard for me to make an opinion just based on what I saw. I think it could be one of those games where it might be sort of geared towards younger audiences with the cartoony look, but it'll have enough going for it that older players are interested in too. So I think they might have the right balance there for a game that's gonna appeal to people of all ages. It's nothing, it doesn't look like technologically impressive, but it looks good, and it's it looks like it's going to accomplish what I think they're going for.
Yeah, I think it looks quite pretty for what it is. It's got that sort of almost Ratchet and Clank style look to it, if you know what I mean. So I think it was just them sort of showing that they've got games like Killzone going on, but then they've got games like this one, which is a little bit more sort of simple looking. So
I think it's very important that they have a good mix between hardcore, violent titles, and then those family-friendly titles that really draw in that larger audience that's really spending the money. I mean, that's the reason why Nintendo's still around, is they have that younger market cornered so hard, where all they do is put a Mario game out and they're selling a system.
Right, and I feel like in the previous generation, Sony probably had the smallest portion of the casual market, because obviously Nintendo with the Wii, a huge portion of their fan base was casuals, and Microsoft started to tap into that a little bit with Kinect games, but I feel like Sony wasn't geared as much toward casuals last gen, and it'll be really good for them if they can sort of start to bring in that crowd while still maintaining the crowd that likes games like Killzone and things like that.
All right. Now, going through the titles they announced. I mean, the first one, of course, they announced was Knack, which was kind of like this indie style game. Then we had an interesting. Actually, let's talk about the controller, because I think the controller is actually one of the most interesting things they did. Completely turning the 6-axis around and actually making something new for once, instead of rehashing the same design over and over and over again. So, what do we think of this? I mean, they've changed the classic D-pad around a little bit. They've retweaked the aesthetics of the controller. They've changed the thumbsticks to kind of have this little outer lip around it. They added a touchpad. They added a share button, and what is that? An options button up at the top right. It's like a second opposite the share button. Can't even see that, but they added another
we just
button.
got a very brief look at that part.
And then they have this light bar on the back, which I guess will provide move functionality as well as act as an identifier.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's exactly going to work. Is it? I mean, any ideas on that?
Well, I mean, the way Move works now is it tracks the sphere and judging by the size of the sphere, it determines how far away you are from the camera, and then of course orientation is determined by how you're holding the controller.
Right.
Through accelerometers, but this will be an interesting thing.
Well, I'm curious in what ways they plan to use the touchpad, because we didn't really see them show off much in that. I mean, they showed the controller, but there wasn't really a game that showed how well they're going to integrate the touchpad. And then they didn't really talk much about the share function. It was just very quick, which I think that might be the most interesting new features, the share function. It would have been nice if they would have dwelled on that a little more.
Well, it's essentially you press that share button and you could play back the last few minutes of gameplay, cut a highlight, and instantly share it to your friends. That's
Right.
that's the crux of what the share feature is going to do, and I think that's great. Or I guess maybe it'll pop open your live stream chat, or give you the ability to start live or something else. But it's good. It's good that they're giving gamers these features that they're using now through this convoluted system. Like right below me, I have my live streaming computer, which has 4 capture cards, and it's a mess. But this makes it easy. It gets rid of the gateways and allow more people to get involved in social experiences.
Yeah, I think it could add quite a strong edge to competitiveness as well. So, I'm not sure exactly where they said you cannot share things on. They integrate into Facebook or Twitter, things like that. You got a couple of mates just sitting around, and you think, oh yeah, I'll play the game they've been playing. Quickly post up like a high score or something. Show the video you've done. They'll see it whilst they're just browsing on Facebook or wherever, and they'll quickly jump on and start playing themselves.
Yeah, so interesting too. The stereo eye camera will be included with every system. At least I would assume that.
Right. I think that's the vibe I got too. That should, that, like I said, I feel like a lot of the things they showed off today shows that they're trying to show that Sony can do everything that the competition can do, and then a little more. And I feel like that stereo eye thing is going to be their way to combat Kinect.
I definitely got to say that for what I was expecting out of Sony, I got a little bit more than I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a new DualShock that actually looks like a new controller, as opposed to the same old, same old.
I was going to say, at the same time, they didn't change it too drastically to where players would be unfamiliar with it, because some of the mock-ups, had it looking very different, like with a screen built into it, sort of like the Wii U gamepad, or another one had touchpads replacing the analog sticks, and I feel like those drastic of changes would have been a mistake that could have alienated some of their fans that have been used to playing with the DualShock for 2 decades. So I thought they found the right balance of innovating, but without changing too much.
Alright, it looks like Alex Plant, Editor-in-Chief, has now joined the call.
Hello, everyone.
How are you? Alright, I'm gonna try to bring up the Gen Game page here so I can just show some images and whatnot while we do this. We're doing this live here, folks. I don't know what I'm doing. But we'll make this work.
What you're doing is overrated.
Yeah. We do it live here. So good to see you in the call, Alex. We had you before the show started, but you dropped, but now you're back and you sound a lot better. So Alex, just get you back in the loop. What part of the presentation do you find the best?
Well, to be honest, there were a lot of third parties brought on with tangible gameplay footage, and I thought that was a really strong suit. Especially compared to the Wii U launch, or the Wii U.
And we want you guys in chat to get involved. Let us know in chat what moments you thought were very good. We'll read some of those later on. And we'll move right along to talking about the interface, because I really like what they did with the UI. It didn't show too much of it, but what they did show was the new menu system, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of like if you've ever used Windows Media Center, a little bit of that with like the cascading tiles, and some then you go down supplementary data. So it kind of looks like the natural evolution of the XMB, which I thought was always an awful interface. But what I liked was the PlayStation Store. It had a very good interface, very visual, and this looks like they're taking what they learned there and moving it to the main menu. So what do you guys think of the interface?
I actually didn't get a particularly good view at that. I think I was editing an article when they were showing off most of that, but I agree that it definitely needs a step up from what the PS3 had to offer in that aspect. And like you said, the store is very good and very visual and things like that, and that's definitely the direction they need to take.
Yeah. I didn't manage to get a proper look at it myself either.
Yeah, there's a few posts on the site right now. Ben, you actually put one up with that I actually have on the stream now, where you show off the live streaming feature a little bit, which is pretty cool. A very clean interface though.
Yeah, I think the live stream thing is that could be a game changer for Sony. Like I said, especially when it comes to just advertising, just word of mouth, being able to see gameplay footage and tap into your friends' gameplay experiences and things like that.
It's sort of interesting how the social features kind of directly rip some of the things that Miiverse was doing and then upstage them completely.
Yeah.
With the footage. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Alright, we'll move forward. I'm just actually recropping the Skype region right now. Just because it's a little, oh, now it's all messed up. Look at me breaking everything. Alright.
Wouldn't be a good day if we didn't break everything.
Oh yeah. Well, I gotta break some things later with one of the other live streamers, but that's another story. PlayStation integration with GaiK. I mean, we already knew that was going to happen, but I like the fact that you're going to be able to try games and immediately be able to try them, and if you buy them, you'll be able to immediately jump in and play them. Zero waiting.
We had already kind of heard about the play while it's in downloading or installing, but I like that it's kind of there's a try before you buy.
And how it's being strongly encouraged. I think that's very good.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I think it's going to be good for developers because they're going to be kind of forced to be more competitive and make games that demo well or that play well just in a few minutes. So it's very encouraging.
All right, we had Drive Club, which was announced. I thought the whole announcement of Drive Club was hilarious.
Yeah.
The guy went full on Peter Molyneux, and he went away with it, and he got really passionate, which I thought was cool. But the obnoxious level of detail that they showed in this game kind of makes me want to get it now.
I'm not sure because there's things like the driving part looks good, the cars look good, like you said, the headlights being like real headlights looks good, but things like buckling up, I don't know. It depends how invasive.
This is first-person driving, man. This is first-person driving.
Yeah, I suppose, but I don't know if the buckling up experience is something I want to carry over.
As long as it doesn't come with a seatbelt peripheral, maybe.
That's true. I gotta agree with you there, Ben. As long as it doesn't come with a PlayStation Move slide-in seatbelt accessory for your chair.
I mean, they could go full on and just have the chair move, and it might throw you out of the chair if you're not careful.
That'd be really funny.
I mean, there's their first-person driving experience.
Right. All right. So another big title that was announced. I called this in chat, and then I second-guessed myself, and then I was right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was quite amusing.
Yeah, so infamous Second Son from I'm forgetting the studio.
I was missing all the studios. It's funny because I looked this up afterwards to see how many games there were so far because I couldn't remember.
That was jeez, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. Jeez. 5 points. 5 points to Ben. I'm like trying to find my article. I wrote down Sucker Punch in there, and I how did I forget it? Jeez. But I was really disappointed we didn't actually see the actual system. I was really disappointed we did not see the physical PlayStation 4.
Yeah, me too.
I'm actually not that surprised. They showed the controller, even though they didn't really. If they did, I didn't notice. They didn't really go into how the controller is going to be used in any of the particular games that they showed. Maybe I missed it though.
Yeah. Well, I think what they're trying to hammer home is we want to have players play the way they want to play, and that is with a controller in a comfortable way, and not really be forced to do anything that puts them outside their comfort zone.
Right. That seems to be the kind of motivation for not really talking that much about the controller after the reveal. So.
Yeah, I mean they said, oh, it's got this, it's got this, it's got that, it's gonna have vibration, it's gonna be better, and that's it. In and out.
Right. It's kind of like it's gonna be like a seamless thing. It's not gonna be.
We're not gonna see a
but it's not gonna be a big deal at the same time. So.
Yeah, and we're not gonna see a repeat of the fiasco that was the DualShock 3.
Yeah.
Sorry, the 6-axis. I should make it clear. The DualShock 3 did not come out when the PlayStation 3 came out.
Right.
And I thought that was the biggest mistake Sony made.
Right.
All right, so worst moments of the presentation.
Oh gosh.
The part where they didn't bring Naughty Dog out would be one of them. That's actually a pretty big one.
Doesn't Naughty Dog have this like we'll only work on one console game at a time sort of thing going on?
Yes, they do.
My wife is telling me yes, they do.
I mean, okay, they started with Crash, and then went to Jack and Daxter, and then they only did one at a time.
Do you guys hear her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
They sold Crash, or got rid of it, or gave over the rights, so that they could work on Jack and Daxter, and then when they, 2 games later, they, Ratchet and Clank next?
Something like that.
Yeah. That's what they do.
So, yeah, I guess I wasn't too surprised or disappointed.
But they shit out gold.
When The Last of Us is out and they don't start talking about what they're doing next, then I'll be disappointed.
Yeah. But I think we can all say that Naughty Dog is going to put something out. It's going to be good, and it's going to probably be close, if not getting Game of the Year.
Yeah, probably.
Diablo 3 coming to PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Have any of you guys played Diablo 3?
Not yet.
No, I haven't.
No, not yet.
You all suck.
I know.
I waited. I impulsively bought the game the night it came out, and then I found out. I then found out. Oh, the servers don't open until 3 a.m. 3 hours later. Oh, I can't log on to the servers because they're flooded. 7 a.m. Yes, I'm in the game.
Yeah. That's the Blizzard experience.
So that was pretty exciting. Playing that through the first time, staying up till ungodly hours in the afternoon, and then falling asleep at my desk. But
I don't know. I don't have the time for Diablo.
Yeah, Diablo is a time sink. You need people to play with too.
Right.
Of Exile, essentially what people are calling what Diablo should have been. And that's, I guess the fire's being lit under Blizzard's ass pretty decently right now in that game.
Yeah.
Another game that I kind of expected to see, just because of some hype that was happening earlier today, the Phantom Pain, aka Metal Gear Solid 5, whatever they're gonna end up calling it. their teaser page for it, they updated it today and just added the letters 220. So there was, kind of the thought that maybe that was a reference to today, the February 20th reveal and everything, but we did not see anything from Kojima or Phantom Pain or anything related to that.
Yeah, that was really disappointing. We did not see anything from them.
The clue probably is a hint that it's coming to PS4, not that that's a surprise to anyone.
Oh, of course. But I was just really impressed that we just didn't see anything from that franchise there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Ground Zeroes trailer would have been nice even, because we've barely seen anything from that. But they are planning to show off more footage of that at GDC.
So, who here is going to get Assassin's Creed Auto 7, aka Watch Dogs?
I already have it reserved.
Or, sorry, I should call it Grand Theft Assassins. The game that is the blatant copying of Grand Theft Auto with Assassin's Creed mechanics. But it looks awesome. I'm probably going to pick that up day one.
I'll probably pick it up. I just tried my first Assassin's Creed a couple months ago. I feel like it was probably not the right one to start with, and I feel like starting with a fresh franchise that's kind of going in that direction is probably a better idea for me.
Assassin's Creed's a hard game to just jump into. I jumped into Brotherhood, and I was lost. I was completely and entirely lost.
I wasn't so much lost, it just didn't feel like the right place to start.
Alright, it looks like Kevin is joining the call now.
Sweet baby Jesus, 963 messages.
You just logged in, I'm assuming?
It seems like it. Kevin, did you get to check out the Sony announcements today?
I watched a little bit. I turned
we
it
can
on
at
as
least
soon
look
as
at the front
Diablo
page.
3 popped up on the board. All I did was elbow the guy next to me that was watching too, and he looked away, and I elbowed him in the stomach and was like, "Why?" and pointed at the screen. As soon as I saw the threes go across the board, I was like, "Oh, are they gonna announce StarCraft?" No.
I was kind of hoping for a StarCraft, a game set in the StarCraft universe. This was maybe a third-person shooter or something, or like a first-person shooter.
BS.
I feel like it'd be a
Destiny
better fit.
competition.
Sure enough.
Of
Yeah, I kind of
course.
feel like maybe that's why Phantom Pain wasn't here yet, because there's just so many other shooters and similar kind of demographic games already.
Yeah,
getting
Kojima
thrown out.
doesn't really like sharing the stage with other people. He
Yeah.
doesn't even usually go to E3.
Yeah.
Too cool for E3. Me too. I don't even go. Yeah, probably Skyrim.
All right, so I'm trying to remember where we were in terms of covering this this presentation. There was actually a surprisingly high amount of stuff done, and then but also a surprisingly little amount revealed.
Well, that's because this is some random. It's like
We didn't know what to
best analogy.
expect.
It's like watching WWE wrestling. They do all the feuds and the build-up and all the things during the regular shows, and then the pay-per-view comes around, and then boom, that's your E3. They're going to show the box. They're going to show the controller. They're going to show how when they're going to.
Oh, we got the
say
controller.
How Vita is actually something that you should buy.
Well, Vita's going to be something that we would buy if it didn't cost
there's another
a car
thing.
payment.
No announcement for a Vita price cut in America, even though Japan's getting one.
Yeah, that's leaving a bit of a sour taste in
I don't think
people's
they
mouths.
wanted that to be the keynote of it.
Well, when they mentioned-
I'll
That's
agree with you,
an easy
Kev.
thing.
when they mentioned Vita support, they could have at least thrown it out there. When they mentioned the cross play thing.
Well, if they mentioned it that they were going to do a price cut, the whole presentation would have been derailed from this is about the PS4 to this is about Sony admitting that the PS Vita was a failure and they're cutting the price to try to
Exactly. That's something you say at
bring
E3.
sales
They're
up.
like, we're coming out with something new. By the way, this thing's gonna get cut, so that you could buy it at a cheaper price.
Yeah.
I think what Sony needs to do going forward is they need to kind of come up with a strategy that puts the Vita in a more competitive space with the 3DS. Right now, you just can't compete with it. The 3DS is just a juggernaut, even though it's
It feels like
technically
it's competing
inferior.
with the PS3 as well. So,
Well, yeah, because they
It's the
keep
same.
advertising it as just PS3 on the go when they need to advertise it as its own unique thing.
Yeah,
right.
I
Well, they
think
keep
that
pumping out these games that were on PS3, but they're kind of been shrunk down for Vita. So
yeah, I mean, but the thing is, like, they're promising console level graphics on a portable system, and they're not delivering on that promise.
Right.
Because the system just doesn't have that much power. It's got a great screen, great processor, but the developers are just trying to squeeze games onto it, and it's not working.
Right. Yeah, it needs unique stuff that doesn't necessarily need tiny console stuff.
Alright, so trying to just go through one last time here. There's a lot of hate in the staff lounge on this for this.
I noticed.
Oh man, the hate so
People are
strong.
hating on it. I thought it was pretty good.
No, in our staff, which is the equivalent of, I guess,
Staff lounge.
Lex
GenGAME
and Riggs absolutely ripping on it the entire
What's
time.
Riggs?
Sure enough.
I saw I just got home from school maybe 10-20 minutes ago. I saw that there was like this sensor thing with the controller. Is that
So
like a
the-
sensor for it?
The controller's
the
got.
light,
Go ahead,
What
Alex.
is it?
I'll let you
they
explain.
said that was for identifying players. Whatever
Oh,
that means. I mean, they had that patent way back that was like they can scan your fingers or whatever,
that's weird.
or read your biometric.
So that you can't play used games. Does it like burn your retinas if you try to put a used game in
Maybe
or
that's
something?
like the hidden message.
You actually have to take a blood sample every time you turn the system on.
Now, they did not announce anything of that nature in terms of copy protection.
Right next to the USB
But they
slot is like a
announced-
cigarette lighter.
I don't even think they'd announce something like that. It would just kind of happen.
Yeah.
I think
they're
that's
actually
something,
trying
though,
to
they-
highlight something.
I think that's something, though, they would have to spin in a positive way. Kind of like how PC games are sold. You can't buy a used PC game because you buy the game, it's got a one-time use serial code, activates on Steam, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to spin it that way.
Yeah.
And gamers are going to have to suck it up because that's the reality of this world.
PlayStation 4 bridges the gap between console and PC.
That's
Well,
it.
That's really what's been happening with both Microsoft and Sony the last few generations. They're trying.
I just think it's dumb though, because if you want to go back, like, let's say 2013 PS4 release. I'm just hypothetical. Right
It
now.
is holiday
Okay,
2013.
whatever. Then I'm totally correct in all ways and all things. PlayStation 4 2013 holiday release. Let's skip forward to 2018. We're all 25-ish or so. I'm 25, and I bought the PS4, and I want to play Dynasty Warriors 12, which came out in 2013. They rushed 5 games somehow and made Dynasty Warriors 12. But I can't go and buy a used copy, and no one's selling it new anymore. I guess digital, I would have to buy
That's
it.
what I was thinking, or digital, or maybe cloud.
And then what if the servers for that turn off in 2020, when the PS5 comes out?
Who knows? I mean, that's always been the reservation I've had about cloud, at least as
Yeah.
far as it is right now.
What
Is
happens if it
how
rains?
long is this going to be supported?
All right,
They
so
have to make sure they're in business the entire time it's running.
all right, so Ben thankfully dropped a link to the complete specs of the PS4 in the chat. Thank you, Ben. And this is actually, it's a little bit different than what they put on screen. It's an x86-64 AMD Jaguar chip. It's a 64-bit chip. So essentially, this is essentially going to be a full-blown gaming computer with
Pretty nice.
I doubt it's a next generation Radeon. It's going to be a current generation Radeon for price reasons. Very good though. 8 gigabytes of GDDR5 RAM. That's going to be shared for the entire system. So most graphics cards nowadays have 2 at most, if you're staying under the $200 range.
Mhm.
But 8 gigs, that's a lot of RAM. I mean, most PC games now will barely go over 4 if you're running them on medium to high settings.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm thinking.
that's a high ceiling, and that's also going to allow them to have things running in the background, so you can, when you hit that home button or whatever button, you go and you can just fly around the system without any issue.
Did
Yeah.
Microsoft lose timed exclusivity contract with Activision on Destiny? Wasn't it like a year they had it on Xbox?
I don't think so.
Was that
Chris told
ever
me that. I feel like he's
substantiated?
lying. Only on Xbox till 2014.
I don't know if I ever heard about that.
All right, we're gonna look at this now and determine whether or not there's some interesting things happening. And welcome, Chris Hansen, to the call.
I just popped in the chat to clarify, because I've been tracking this since like the Destiny kind of release thing the other day.
It will hit PlayStation 3 in the fall of 2014.
Where'd you read that?
IGN.
Okay, yeah, like the there was initially a contract leaked during the well, it wasn't leaked. They had to release it during that Infinity Ward case, and Activision had to release a bunch of documents, and there was a contract that they signed with Microsoft about Destiny being exclusive on Xbox, with the first major DLC being Xbox exclusive until sometime in 2014.
Destiny's slated fall 2013?
I thought
That's-
it wasn't coming out in
That's what
2013.
they said now, well, because they said that it would be launching it the same time as other consoles in the
Well,
Sony presentation.
Activision just said like 2 days ago that it's not coming anywhere in 2013.
It's not coming in 2013.
I'm on the IGN
Alright.
wiki.
It's not included in their budget or forecasts for 2013, which would seem to suggest it's not coming in 2013.
Let's check the most reliable source, VG247. I have a... This came out February 18th.
So now this puts
It's subject
Little-
to change.
I gotta say, this whole announcement puts Ouya in a little bit of an awkward position.
Yeah.
People will still buy it.
Well, it's a $100 console. We already know the price. We didn't get a price on the PS4, unfortunately, but
No, we didn't see
you
it.
better
Really?
prepare your wallets.
Yeah.
I was.
Speaking of price, what do we think the price is going to be?
That's a good question. We're gonna write these down, and everybody write it in chat.
Just like Price is Right.
Yes, we're gonna do prices right here. Everybody, write it up in chat. Do not hit enter. Do not hit enter until I say go. Okay.
If I don't go over, I win.
All right. Are we ready?
$1 bet just for you.
3, 2, 1. Hit enter.
Douche that put euros.
All right. So Dean went with 350 to 400 pounds.
So anything under that, I win. Oh no, anything under Chris, I win.
All right. Alex went with 450 average if multiple SKUs. We're probably going to do the multiple SKU thing again. I think
What's the space?
we'll
Prediction.
see a 500 gigabyte hard drive. Safe
How
to
much?
say, 500 gigs.
500. So like a typical PC model.
Yeah, I think we'll see.
Part of me wonders if they'll
So
pull
what, 500 gigs
Xbox.
and then a terabyte in a couple of years, maybe.
Who knows? Part of me thinks they'll pull Microsoft and do. You can pay a lower price and buy a subscription contract.
Well, if Sony
Right.
goes through with the whole you can't repurchase and sell used games, then everything will pretty much they'll be pushing digital.
That's true.
So
true.
we want the space, and memory's cheap. We all know
Indeed.
this. But jamming it into a console and your fixed costs at the beginning of it will be expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why we'll probably see 500. 500 seems good.
Hmm.
Because what's the Xbox at? 320 or something? 320 gigs?
Right now, that's the largest SKU available.
Okay. They should be able to cram that into a giant PlayStation 4 size box.
Pretty easily, I think.
I bet it's going to be pretty big.
Will it be bigger than the PS3?
You know what? I don't think it will be, because if this next generation Radeon graphics card can even remotely touch what NVIDIA just did with like the Titan and the technology there, all you do is throw some sort of custom cooling solution on it, and they could probably shrink that thing down pretty reasonably. I don't expect it to be. I don't expect it to be any bigger than the second generation PS3. And if it is, it's a really bad thing.
Watchdog for Wii U.
Oh shit! That is
Yeah,
huge.
confirmed by
When I was watching that, and the same guy next to me, I was like,
That's huge.
"Oh, take a look at this," and he's like, "Oh wow, this looks like a Mirror's Edge ripoff." I was like, "It's Assassin's Creed." He's like, "It's Assassin's Creed."
So this is
And he saw Ubisoft, and he was like, "Oh my god!"
this is pretty
That's
big
kinda-
here. We
that
got
is- that is huge because it means they're actually working on scaling stuff that's on PlayStation 4 to Wii U.
GameStop's been taking pre-orders for it on Wii U for 2 or 3 days now. I actually already placed the pre-order, but I guess this is probably the first official news we've heard about it.
yeah. Well, GameStop pre-ordered things that never really happened,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Twilight
now they're a lot
Princess.
more careful. So
I had a pre-order for Twilight Princess for like 5 years. Seriously. I had it before it was Twilight Princess. They called me. They were like, "Do you want it on the Wii or the GameCube?" I was like, "What? Oh yeah."
oh, that
Forgot
game.
about that.
That's
It was
okay.
the same way with Skyward Sword. They started taking pre-orders like 2.5 years before it came out.
Yeah, that's every Zelda.
Yeah, as soon as it's
No, I don't
announced,
know, Wind
they'll
Waker, I don't
pre-order
think
it.
was- No, Wind Waker was like that. I think I pre-ordered that through Kmart.
Oh my god, I feel so sorry for you.
Did
I
you
got
have to
the, what's
adjust?
it called? I got the
Oh, you get the
Master
special.
Edition.
Yeah.
Nothing through it.
I was gonna say, did you have to reorder to get the bonus disc?
No,
What
that's
did it-
I got it right away.
Fancy.
I didn't even know what it was, like what the game was like. I was just
Wind
like,
Waker?
as soon as I played it too, I was like, "Oh, it's Zelda."
Oh, I see.
Back in the more innocent days of the game.
All right, so we're gonna go and come back to chat here and go over some of the things that you wonderful folks have been saying there. I think it's an interesting comment. I cannot pronounce your username, but I was amazed seeing Sony admit the Vita was a failure. I don't think they did that in particular, but they definitely addressed its shortcomings.
I'm really glad I've been watching my mouth.
It's okay. We're close enough to after hours. If you let one slip, it's okay. We're just gonna export this out to YouTube and put it on the site as a kind of like a mini podcast. But Diogi asks, are you gonna have to pay for an online subscription for the PS4? They didn't announce anything on that either, which is surprising. But I'm expecting
Probably.
it. I'm expecting it. $50
Yeah.
a year minimum.
It'll help them sell it at a lower price while somewhat making up cost.
Oh, I just
And-
see hashtag this call is live on Gen Game. Oops.
All right. Well, it asks, I don't know if any of you are looking at this chat, but is the PS4 supposed to offer anything new? Obviously, we'll have more powerful hardware, more memory, but is there anything that'll make it unique? So what do we think the PS4's unique thing is?
Well, anything they're
Cloud.
doing with cloud gaming, maybe.
I
Yeah.
think that all the cloud features are really going to set it apart.
How do you pronounce it?
Gaikai?
Gaikai?
Gaikai.
Gaikai? I really don't know.
Genkai. I feel like I should turn the video on.
Yeah, you can turn your video on. That's fine.
Oh, prepare for all 4 pixels of this webcam.
Yes.
Pixel power.
Oh, contrast.
And there's Kevin.
Part of Kevin.
Kevin, you should just drive over.
I should. At this point. Oh man, that's terrible. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
This webcam was probably $10.
All right, Diogi asks,
About-
do you
My
think
microphone
that
was probably 5. Anyway.
Diogi asks, do you think that the PS4 will be more powerful than the Xbox Durango/720? We'll put this one to a vote here. Who says yes? You could say yes or raise your hand or do a dance.
I'd say yeah, it might be.
In some areas, probably.
I think it'll be on par.
Possibly.
I think
More or less
it
it
probably will because Microsoft's a software company. That's my reasoning.
That's a good
I-
reason.
It's a good
What
enough
was
reason,
the
right?
rumored? What was the rumored RAM for the Durango?
I don't remember the.
gigs.
Was it?
Eight,
Was it
yeah, I
8?
think it was 8. But it had a slightly less powerful processor. But I
Okay.
think they were using. Were they sticking with PowerPC,
I don't remember.
or were they going to an x86 processor like a regular PC?
Probably x86. I don't really know.
Let's see if I can find.
It's like the standard.
I think we shared it. Let me see.
There's been so many different sets of rumored
Oh,
stats, I
it's-
can't keep them straight.
It's insane. If anybody has the latest rumored specs, we'll
Is it a Pika
investigate those.
200 processor? I'm kidding. No
Was
one
that a
knows what-
frickin'
maybe Trevor
DS?
knows what that is.
Was that the one for the DS?
It's the 3DS
Oh
processor.
God, get out of
I
here!
think they use that in like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 arcade machines sometimes too.
Yep, that's already on.
What Little Big Planet are they up to?
2. I think we'll see
Thought
Little
they
Big
did
Planet
2.
3. Yeah, they released 2.
Oh, okay. Oh, your 3DS is out. Did you get Fire Emblem?
Now I'm thinking about it really badly.
Yeah, it's one
My,
of
s-
those.
my store
like,
just got it in
amazing.
stock. We've been sold out of it for so long.
Do you
Yeah,
think
here
that
too.
Microsoft
It's pretty much
waits
sold
to
out everywhere.
announce it? Do you think that Microsoft's gonna just say, "Whoa, we see the specs now," and they're gonna up the ante and say, "Whoa, they have 8 cores, let's have 40."
I think it's a little late in the game for them to change.
Yeah, it's
Well,
late because
I-
they've given out dev kits.
But that's fine though. If they increase the spec, the games will still run just as good, and it
But there might be
improves
tricks
the
that
ceiling.
developers have been using to get it to work.
Well, I was hearing back when there were Wii U dev kit rumors that they kept adding stuff to Wii U, like
Yeah, all the way
as
up
late as
till
August or
Or maybe-
July or August. So I mean, it's possible.
what would be really funny is if they sent the Wii U dev kits out and they actually weren't as powerful as actual Wii U's.
I don't know.
That'd be really funny and really troll worthy. All right, so I think we've kind of undressed this presentation. Quantic Dream was pretty impressive. They showed off their new game engine, 30K polygon counts.
It was upwards of 30K apparently.
Oh my god! Like that demonstration of the old man. Like that will probably burn an image in my eye for tonight. But
It's kind of creepy, but
it was creepy how
are
real
right
it
in saying
looked.
That it's near CGI movie quality, which is something that I haven't really seen from any of the other recent tech demos. I mean, it's gotten close, but you can still kind of tell in like the tech demos from last year that this is game graphics. But with this, it looks more like a movie.
It was like
Right.
Benjamin Franklin. Like really old Benjamin
really-
Franklin.
Really gone Benjamin Franklin.
Zombie Frank.
Dead Jimin Franklin.
We
Did
saw.
Did we beat Diablo 3 with a stick yet?
No, we really didn't beat Diablo 3 with the stick. We
Why
mentioned
the
it
hell is it coming to PS4?
because
Like,
why
why?
not? It's Blizzard. They can do what they want.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
I'm not sure how that's going to work out.
I mean, if they picked
It's
any
gonna be
game,
separate, right, from PC?
yes, if they picked out any game in their franchise list of franchises to bring to a console, that would be the best one.
That makes sense, but
I mean,
I
you've
don't know,
got
I just feel like
4
they should be building
abilities.
something more ground up for consoles rather than
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be a new
Yeah.
IP.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
or
what-
or maybe a game, maybe in an existing IP like StarCraft or Warcraft, but played as an isometric RPG or something like that. But
like Diablo.
kind of, but I mean a little
An
less,
isometric RPG.
but a little less involved. Like Diablo's pretty freaking involved.
What do you mean, the story and everything?
No, like the actual between item management and controls. I don't know how well it's gonna map to control to the controller.
They said early in development that they like the way that it mapped to controls.
I mean,
They have that little touch thingy-majiggy on there now, right?
Yeah, so I guess that could be used as a mouse, so to speak.
Maybe for inventory. I don't know. That'd be really terrible
You'd
if
have
you
to-
played that
They'd
way.
have to rig it.
You have to play like
specifically
this,
for
like one
that.
hand with the controller. And Nah, I feel like they gotta use joysticks.
Oh yeah, they can use the joysticks, but maybe for like when you open up an inventory menu, you'll have a little cursor and you can swipe around or.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Fun
I
fact
feel like
for all
joysticks
of you,
would work for that too. So.
what other Diablo game has been put on... Actually, there's one Diablo game that's made it on a PlayStation console. Name the Diablo game and name the console.
Oh god, the console. I want to say N64.
PlayStation console.
What, Sony didn't make the N64?
Was it PS1?
It might be.
I'm gonna Google this now.
Cheating. I was gonna guess PS1 as well. Because that seemed like PC port destination at the time. So.
Yeah.
Well, think about...
Yeah, it
I bet
was.
I
It
I'll give
was.
you all a year. Let's set up the scene here. It's 1998.
Sounds about
Diablo
right.
is ported to the PlayStation by EA.
By EA. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at the old school Electronic Arts logo.
Yep.
In association with Blizzard.
It had no online, but I think
It had two
two-player
player.
co-op.
2-player.
Yeah. It's so hard to find.
Jeez.
And it you needed another memory card for it.
You needed 2 memory cards.
You needed one.
Oh, but it filled the whole memory card.
Pretty much.
Yeah, 'cause probably all the freaking items and crap. But I mean, I'd like to see. I wish we'd see another console StarCraft game in the style of maybe more along the lines of Halo Wars, where it's
There's no
simplified.
load times on that game.
Oh, on Diablo 1 for PlayStation? Holy crap!
Yeah.
That'll be insane. Well, if
And
you
this is
want,
back in 1998.
well, if you want to pick up Diablo for PlayStation, they've got some auctions on eBay. Looks like for about $60 you can get a new one, complete with case. They've got one for $20 on auction. There's one that's $80.
If I ever have the hankering to play Diablo 1 again, I'm pretty sure I have a copy to
Get the
So,
just get.
buy Diablo 2. Although they don't give it with the battle chest anymore. You used to, if you pick for the battle chest, you got Diablo 2 expansion, Diablo 2, and Diablo 1. And I think you got the book. I'm gonna go grab it off the shelf right now.
Part of me wonders if the pricing model for games is going to change at all next gen.
I don't think it will, because I think gamers are starting to show little tolerance for paying a lot of money for a bad game. So if anything, I think maybe this might be the last generation where the games are $60.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping it goes back to 50.
I think.
But
Didn't
people
EA
are-
already say they were going to start making their games $70?
Did they really?
I think they did.
No way.
If you want to
people
buy a
just want
game from
pricing.
EA, you need to give them give them your bank account. They just deduct whatever they think they want to give you. So I don't have an older copy of the battle chest, but I still have this one, and it has Diablo 2, the expansion, and the book, the Ultimate Strategy Guide. Such awesome cover art. Diablo 3 just wasn't as great. Cover art.
It's not official, but there was a.
Even the Lord of Destruction one was cool. And
And
no
it-
one even looks like this dude in the game.
So-
I think this is supposed to be Bale.
So they did have this image that leaked out for Battlefield. For Medal of Honor Warfighter.
Battlefront?
Medal of Honor Warfighter for pre-order for $69.99. But I feel like that is either a typo or something, because I don't see them doing that. They'll absolutely kill any sales of that game. I mean, especially if Activision's, you know what, if they're going to do $70, we're going to do $60, and we're going to make the money back on margin.
Right.
On not on margin, but on volume.
I think that's something that developers just need to conform to, because if one person tries to undersell the other person, it's just going to cause chaos.
Well, I think it'll either be a good chaos and drive game prices back down to reasonable levels, or it'll be a bad chaos and it'll cause an ever escalation of pricing.
Yeah, or an ever decreasing amount, which would be good.
I think it'll bottom
I
out.
think it'll increase before it decreases.
I think I think games are okay at 60. If they go any higher than 60, I think you'll see a lot of people saying, I'm not going to buy that game. I'm going to play a free-to-play game. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But I'm not going to spend $70 on a new title.
I think the thing is that, and I think you would agree with me, especially you, Trevor, considering you're savvy with this. If they charged over $60 for a retail price, retailers would get upset because customers wouldn't buy games from retailers. They buy them online where they might be a bit cheaper for a digital copy. Maybe.
Could be.
So if there were $70, local mom, local pop walk in, buy a game for their kid, they're not going to spend $70.
Well, I mean, it's not like the value of playing a game gets higher because the system is more powerful. It's still a game.
Yeah.
Frankly, I'm surprised the $60 price increase stuck like it did. Because
Well-
I mean, you add that up. If you buy like 10 games, that's $100 extra
That's true.
for
And that-
not $100 worth of extra game. So
Yeah, especially with the pressure being ever so increased on developers to put out a solid product, it gets into a very awkward situation when
Right.
when you charge $70 for a game and then it's got like 6 hours of gameplay.
Pass.
Then
That's like-
then you have DLC, season pass. Next thing you know,
That's
you're at
like-
$120.
that's where I was going. Like, you're already piling on extra cost with DLC. Do you really need to pile on extra cost of entry?
Yeah, I think more than anything, what they need to do is they need to start taking advantage of those types of offers, extending the game through DLC, season passes, extra content for your characters. I think it's a very good way of continuing to cash in on a franchise without making the gamer feel like they were burned.
Yeah.
I think the best example for the best DLC I've ever played is Fallout.
Fallout's a great example. Another good example is Borderlands.
Yeah, definitely Borderlands. Just thinking of that.
I think Fallout 3 was the best I ever had. With,
Yeah, 'cause they had two. How many? They had two really good expansions for that. They had Mothership Zeta and.
I don't think Mothership Zeta was the best. Broken Steel was good.
Broken Steel was the good
like,
one.
It was like must-have DLC. I got Broken Steel, Mothership Zeta,
There was a third one, right?
the Pit. Well, there was a bunch. There was the Pit, there was Operation Anchorage, and there was Point Lookout. 5
Wow.
DLCs.
Now imagine if they
Well,
had a
they just
season
had
pass for that.
3. Yeah, right. Like
That would have been incredible. It's like,
$50
oh,
for pass for Fallout. Well, now they have like the complete edition, the final edition,
the
final
director's cut,
director's cut, super custom edition.
platinum edition,
I hate it when games do that.
game of the year edition.
LA Noire, the good edition. 7 discs.
I actually have Battlefield 3. I think I actually have it installed on this computer too. Never played it.
Dollars.
Yes, sir.
Played the demo.
What's that?
Demo gave me a headache.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
hard
sorry,
to play on
not
console.
the demo, the beta.
What did I do?
Developers don't do demos anymore.
Yeah, game sales.
Yeah, because people realize it's crap.
And then
If it
they
is.
don't get suckered in. But then again, you might have higher aggregate reviews.
I have one game that came with a demo disc. It had like Metal Gear Solid on it. Remember, I played it for like 2 minutes. I was like, I'm never gonna buy this.
Forget this game.
I don't know which game it was. I don't have it here anymore. I have some great PS2 games.
There were a lot of PS2 games, so it was kind of bound to happen. Just a law of probability.
I could pull down any one of these PS2 games. Never mind. I wouldn't enjoy all of them now that I'm looking at like.
Looking at like half of them, like, yeah, not really gonna play Dance Dance Revolution again.
Oh my god! I was just looking at that. I was just gonna say DDR Supernova.
I had Max 2. I played that
Max 2
a
was the
lot.
best.
Yeah.
And
It's really sad because Best Buy just did like this 99-cent every like used PS2 game they have sale, and I came so late that everything was gone.
Oh, that's
That would have
unfortunate.
been a great opportunity.
Sorry,
Oh, well.
DDR Max, which is in fact the best game in the franchise. And DDR Extreme, equally, not equally as good, but
Jeez.
still good.
What did you have?
Sure,
Did
I
you have
have.
the?
Max 300 on heavy. Trevor knows. Trevor doesn't know.
Oh god. We're publishing this too, and we're like, yeah, we play DDR. Who didn't play DDR?
Oh, I was so good at DDR.
It's like now the game. It's like the equivalent of that for this generation. Like, yeah, I play Just Dance. What do you mean you don't play Just Dance? Everybody plays Just Dance.
I've never played Just Dance.
I haven't either. I would never.
haven't played it,
I would never
yeah.
touch that game, unless I
Well,
was paid a considerable amount of money. Ubisoft, you know my checking account. Just kidding. I don't get paid by Ubisoft, but if I did, I probably wouldn't disclose it.
I have every Dynasty Warriors game known to man. Almost every Dynasty. I'm one away from having all of them. Dynasty Warriors. Joe believes me that I'm good at DDR. I feel like we did this one time.
I don't know. I think we might have to do this again. We have to have like a showdown. How many mounts do you have?
Oh no, it was me and Brad. We're gonna have a dance off.
How many mounts do you have, Kevin?
Sounds like a terrible idea. I haven't played this in a long time.
I haven't played it in a long time either.
I guess it's officially a challenge now.
I think this is gonna happen.
Not in your basement.
Oh god, I think somebody would smash their head into the
Every
ceiling.
jump I would. Yeah, really.
Thanks, dude.
We need to find somewhere with enough ceiling clearance then. All right, so let's wrap
This
up.
turned into going through my PS2 library.
Well, we're reminiscing the PlayStation past.
PlayStation 2 was the best. I think we could all agree on that.
I think that's pretty easy to determine. All right, so to wrap up, we're going to probably go through this again on the podcast tomorrow, where we have all the fancy switching and graphics and none of the unpreparedness that we have tonight. I want to thank the entire panel for showing up tonight. Dean, Ben, Alex, and the late arriving Kevin.
I try my heart out. All day, every day.
All right, we're going to wrap up, and we'll probably be moving into some casual gameplay. I got to go fix Joe's stream settings, so I will catch you all later. But that's going to do it for this impromptu little mini Gen Gamecast, and we will see you tomorrow for the real one. So have a good night, everybody.
Yes, take it easy, guys.